To the Lord's Word and look in the book of Mark. Mark chapter 10. I had a birthday, well, it was Sunday a week ago, and I'm having to use these things now. That's been the case for the last few years, and unfortunately, just a few months ago, I noticed that the ones I had been using were still okay, but I was like, it just so happens that I'm able to go to the next stronger, one, and that's not fun, I think about all the things that we used to do. We were talking just the other week about, Easter's coming up this month, and talking just the other week about the way we used to do Easter egg hunts here. I was telling that story, and so again, like all these memories just keep flooding back, and I know the kids are looking forward to that, being able to run around and find all the eggs and things like that, but I wish I could just run around again, whether I find an egg or not. Right now, it hurts too bad in my back or something, so anyway, and I'm sure some of you can probably identify with that. You young ones may not know what we're talking about yet, but you'll get there. Anyway, Mark chapter 10, and I want to just begin by saying tonight, that regardless of what we do, that it's about Jesus,
Amen. Amen.
It's about Him and the fact that He came, He bled, He died for us. Amen. And we live now, not just as far as He being our Savior, not just to escape hell and eternal damnation, but we live now to serve Him. Amen. Amen. And so I'm going to be talking to you tonight. The title of my message is He Lord? We sing the song, He is Lord. He is Lord. He is Lord. He is risen from the dead and He is Lord. Well, is He Lord? So, I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask the rest of you to join our sister over here.
Amen.
And let's read the Lord's Word tonight. We're going to begin in Mark chapter 10, verse 32. And we're going to talk about the greater passage here, but we're going to focus on verses for the time being. Mark chapter 10, verse 32. And they were in the way going up to Jerusalem, and Jesus went before them. And they were amazed, and as they followed, they were afraid. And He took again the 12, and began to tell them what things should happen unto Him, saying, Behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man shall be delivered unto the chief priests, and unto the scribes, and they shall condemn Him to death, and shall deliver Him to the Gentiles. And they shall mock Him, and shall scourge Him, and shall spit upon Him, and shall kill Him. And the third day He shall rise again. Amen. And James and John, the sons of Zebedee, come unto Him, saying, Master, we will that Thou shouldest do for us whatsoever we shall desire. And He said unto them, What would ye that I should do for you? They said unto Him, Grant unto us that we may sit one on Thy right hand, and the other on Thy left, in Thy glory. But Jesus said unto them, Ye know not what ye ask. Now, let me just stop right there. Does it kind of bother you like it bothered the rest of the disciples that they asked for these positions of prominence? It kind of portrays to us the nature of us all in a way that, we want honor. We want, the good things. We want those places of prominence. And Jesus quickly tries to correct their thinking on this. So He says, I have to put these back on. He says, Can ye drink of the cup that I drink of? The cup of suffering. Now, ultimately, that's a reference back to a Jewish tradition that would take place during the week of Passover. Jesus references again the cup at the time of His being in the garden praying. He says, Let this cup pass from me. There is a significance to the cup there, the cup of suffering. And again, it goes back to that Jewish tradition. We won't get into it tonight. But again, He's asking them, can you drink of the cup that I drink of, the cup of suffering, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. He is not speaking there of baptism by water, but he is talking about enduring, in other words, what he's getting ready to go through. In one sense, when you do talk about baptism by water, that represents, in one way, the death and resurrection of Jesus, because the person goes down in the water, death, and comes back up out of it. So the going into water obviously is representative of death, being laid in the grave. And so there is a sense in which he is alluding to that, but he is not speaking of water baptism per se, because we know that he had already been baptized by John. So anyway, and he says, so with the baptism that I am baptized withal, shall ye be baptized. But in other words, you're going to go through some suffering just like I'm going through. But to sit on my right hand and on my left hand is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared. And when the 10 heard it, they began to be much displeased with James and John. That's what I was talking about a few moments ago. When Jesus called them to him, and saith unto them, Ye know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority upon them. But so shall it not be among you. But whosoever will be great among you shall be your minister, and whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be servant of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered to, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. Let me read that last verse again. For the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. You may be seated.